Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I am Mark Cook. This is Biz, and we are flying on this Friday morning. Biz, I can't even keep everything straight. We got so much going on. I got people calling on the phone. I got chefs cooking up stuff. I got people ziplining in, and here he is right now. His name is John Volpa from Pineland Adventures. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you for coming. So this is awesome stuff. First, let me tell you that when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time at Etzion Lake. I am a South Jersey guy through and through, and that's where Pineland Adventures is kind of stationed, right? You guys do a lot of your kayak rentals and a lot of your paddleboard stuff right there at Etzion Lake. Tell me about it.
Actually, we're right across the street from Etzion Lake Recreation Center, and so we basically utilize the Mullica and the Batstow rivers. We rent kayaks and canoes. I lead the guided kayak and canoe trips. I lead the guided hikes and also 2 different bus tours.
Yeah, that's your thing, right? You are the educational director.
Yes, I am.
You're the guy that makes sure that all the stuff is running the way you want it to get the most value and the most educational value out of it for the kids that are coming through and doing your stuff. It's really a cool thing.
Oh, it's a lot of fun, and it's more than kids. So I've been working with adults who have public trips, so we can have adults. I've worked with middle school students. I've worked with high school students, Girl Scout groups, college groups. So I can cover the gamut. I have quite a bit of experience working in the Pine Barrens, and it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, looking at your bio, you talk. I think that he's trying to be a little modest, and he's understating a little bit of experience.
37 years of teaching, 20 years leading outdoor adventures, and worked with REI Outdoor School for a few years.
That's awesome. I mean, we're talking about REI is the top. They're a top player in the game.
Great organization.
They really are. So what made you, you were an educator for a long time. What made you want to get into this?
It seemed like a natural progression, really. When I was teaching, I also had an ecology club for many years. I coordinated the environmental ed camping trip for Chemung Township schools for 20 years. It's always something that I've believed in, and with my own children, took them on many outdoor adventures, camping up and down the East Coast. During the summer, we'd travel quite a bit, and the cheapest way to do it was camping.
Yeah.
We'd go into the cities, too, and stay, nicer places in the
course.
city. But the idea was really to teach my children and teach all children how to survive in life.
Right.
In the wilderness and in the city. And interestingly enough, both my children now live in, my daughter lives in Boston and my son lives in New York City.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of funny, right? You might have expected them to be in real rural areas, or
you never know.
You never know. That's the thing. But what that does is it teaches you life skills that you take with you throughout your entire life. And you were talking about it off the air earlier, and I'm going to bring it up now because I think it's important, and it's one of the sticking points for me as they continue to cut different things out of our educational programs. There are things, especially more specifically since we're talking about Pineland Adventures, that you guys do that kind of fill the gaps that some of the schools are missing because they have such budgetary constraints. And it's just as important, I think, to have those skills, to be a well-rounded person. Everybody thinks of things like art and music and gym. They're the things that get cut right out, right?
Unfortunately.
But the skills that you teach, these are skills that help lend to a well-rounded individual and a contributor to society.
Lifelong skills, the self-confidence that children build when they are given the freedom to meet challenges. I mean, sometimes when I was just out in along the Mullica River this past week, I spent a night with middle school students, and rain came by. That big storm we had just yesterday, Everyone had the rain gear on. No one complained. We put on our rain gear. We continued hiking. We dealt with what came by.
Right.
And that's part of being a resilient person, not saying, "Oh, I can't deal with this."
Right.
I got to be able to deal with what nature.
In a snapshot, you kind of talked about my biggest issue with our society is that, well, if I face any adversity or if it's not exactly how it's planned, they crumble under that situation. And we need to teach kids that, look, things are going to happen. It's
right.
going to rain. You know, we're going to have a path that we can't take. We need to find another way. We need to adjust. And these are the skills that we need to instill in the kids so that when they become adults, they can handle it. Because I have friends, I'm 37 years old, I have friends that they cannot handle themselves in normal, everyday life situations. They lose it. And it's like you cannot react that way. If it's a survival situation, right? You cannot freak out about that.
Exactly. And so these are skills you slowly acquire, and it's so much fun to teach students about, the things you should have with you. But the most important thing to have with you is the right mental attitude.
Right.
And that's something that you slowly develop by having experiences in nature, having experiences where you're challenged, you're going on an 8-mile hike, you're going on a 10-mile paddle. You're going to have challenges. Your canoe's going to get hung up.
Right.
You're going to have to solve that problem. Now, you either solve it well, you communicate effectively with your partner, or you freak out, as you said,
right.
and you make things ugly for yourself. Instead of saying, okay, let's figure out what the problem is, let's deal with it, and we'll move on. And that's how life is.
Yeah.
It's not a perfect, easy glide down a river.
Yeah.
There are challenges.
It's awesome. You got to meet this guy. Go down to Pineland Adventures. It's such a great, you have such a great vibe. It just feels like, man, I need to tell everybody to bring them down to Pineland Adventures because I know that the experience is going to be so valuable. It's really great. I got to take a quick break, and we'll jump back into it. We'll talk a little bit more specifically about, all of the actual activities and things that you guys have over there, all right? So stick with me through this commercial break. We'll be right back on Morning Coffee on the Radio Vision Network.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed... Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
Welcome back to Morning Coffee. I'm so glad you stayed with us. We still have John Volpe here. I'm Biz. This is Mark, and we want to jump into the actual activities. Now, I'm a parent, so I have kids, but then we also have things we want to do for date night. So I kind of want to know, what activities do you guys have there that we can get into, whether it's with the family, whether it's just two adults wanting to kind of reconnect or explore nature?
Cool. I have, for families of young students, I have the most popular is probably the 3-hour Pine Barrens Discovery Tour, which is basically an hour and a half of walking along the shore of a pond or a lake or a river and exploring an Atlantic white cedar swamp. There's some very unique plants in these swamps, carnivorous plants that eat insects.
Really?
And so you unfold that story as to why these native plants have these adaptations. Then I take a dip net, go into the river, look for fish, frogs, insects, and they all tell a story about the Pine Barrens. They tell you whether or not that water is the proper chemistry, and we call them bioindicators. They indicate what the conditions are, and it's so fascinating. Adults are fascinated by the connections you can make by what these insects tell you, the adaptations they have. There's one that's particularly interesting to look at, dragonfly nymph. When you see how it can consume larger things, people just freak out. It's kind of like the alien.
A dragonfly nymph. Is it
Yes.
like a dragonfly, or is it like a little? Is it the?
Actually, so the
baby?
adult dragonflies mate in the air,
Uh-huh.
and then the female lays her eggs in the water, and then they metamorphosize through the stages of a nymph.
Mhm.
And they are predators in the water also that can eat small tadpoles and fish.
Really?
Yes, this
All
boat.
right. So now I gotta go because the kids
Yeah.
the kids always think that stuff like that is just. I mean,
Fascinating.
I want to see it too. I didn't have that opportunity. I didn't see it as a kid. I want to see a dragonfly nymph eat a tadpole.
Yeah, so we do that for like an hour and a half, and then we get in canoes and canoe around and check out the plants, the animals along the shore.
Mm.
This one place, Goshen Pond, has beaver dams, beaver lodges, and so lots of birds, usually heron, tree swallows, lots of turtles. So we'll see red-bellied, and all native turtles, native red-bellied turtles, eastern turtles. So it's a pretty cool place.
See, what I think what a lot of people don't realize, and it's what you do on a daily basis, is that you showcase the beauty of New Jersey. And a lot of people
Yes.
don't understand that in South Jersey, we have a lot of beautiful areas that are preserved, and they haven't been touched, and they're not allowed to be touched because of guys like you and the work that you do. And we need to start showing our children, and if you're an adult and you don't know or you don't realize how beautiful New Jersey is, contact pinelandadventures.org. Remember, that's a .org, which they're a not-for-profit organization. All they're trying to do is educate you in a lot of different ways. It's such a really cool thing. But talk about when people talk about New Jersey, we get a little bit of a bad rap across the country. They think of North Jersey and the factories and the people and all that stuff.
Casinos, Atlantic cities.
Yeah, tell us about the Pine Barrens.
I mean, I enjoyed watching The Sopranos, but everyone thinks that that's New Jersey, and what they see is along the New Jersey Turnpike.
Darn it, John! You beat me to it. I need to know if the Russian is still running around the Pine Barrens. They never told me what happened.
Well, that episode where they put the guy in the Pine Barrens, that wasn't even filmed in the Pine Barrens. It was terrible. You could tell it was not Pine Barrens. I was so disappointed. So disappointed.
That is so funny.
But we have 1.1 million acres of beauty that's been preserved, and the main reason it's been preserved is because there's a huge aquifer under this land, 17 trillion gallons of pure water, and that's the main reason why it's been preserved. And most people now are beginning to realize the importance of water after what California's been going through in Flint, Michigan. This is a tremendous resource, and it's the lifeblood of the ecosystem.
Right.
1 million residents depend upon it with their wells, and so that's where the story begins as far as the preservation of the Pinelands goes. And so that's part of the story that I unfold with my guests, is the difference between Pinelands, Pine Barrens. One is the political entity, one is the ecosystem,
Right.
and what's important about it. and
So
how it
cool.
relates to our lives.
It's such cool stuff to me because I like driving around Chemung and those areas because you'll be driving along and then the next thing you know there will be a body of water or a lake or something that you didn't expect, and the sun will hit it just right and it'll be so beautiful and you'll be like, well, wait a second, I'm in New Jersey. And people tell me I'm not supposed to experience this stuff in New Jersey, but here it is. It's in our own backyard, and it has a wealth of knowledge to teach us.
And you've hit upon the important thing is the beauty and the sense of peace that you begin to get. You start to chill out and lose that stress of driving around New Jersey on the turnpike.
Yeah.
It can be a little stressful.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But New Jersey has so much to offer. The southeast and the northwest parts of the states are absolutely gorgeous.
John, it gets annoying sometimes driving around Mount Laurel and Cherry Hill, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
stressful.
come on. I mean, these are congested areas. So listen, I got to take another quick break, but when we come back, we're going to invite everybody down to Pineland Adventures and make sure they come out and meet you guys. So stick through the break. We'll be right back on Morning Coffee.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
And welcome back to Morning Coffee. I'm Biz. Mark's here. I'm sorry. Mark's on this side. I apologize. John Volp's over here with Pineland Adventures, and we are so excited that you stayed with us because now you get to know exactly where to go to get more details on Pineland Adventures and what you can do there. So we have a tradition. This is camera 1 right here.
All right.
You'll have the opportunity to just tell everybody, all the Morning Coffee viewers, where to go, how to contact you guys, where you are on the internet.
Your time to shine,
All
John.
the
Anything
details.
you want to say, you
Yeah.
let them know right now.
Pinelandsadventures.org. Check us out. You can get a complete listing of all the adventures that we offer. I offer a variety of guided trips on the river, hiking, bus trips, plus you can do a self-guided trip on the rivers and just get out in the Pine Barrens, get out in nature, take your children, just chill out, find a sense of inner peace, and have some real time with your family. Have time where you have to interact with one another, communicate, cooperate, solve problems, and enjoy nature. I think you'll find that that's what really makes families come together, and having that special time and getting away from the electronics and being at peace with your family, your friends, in nature.
Yeah,
Have a
unplug
good
it.
time.
Unplug it for a minute,
Unplug
right?
it.
Unplug it, people.
Be
So-
safe, have fun.
And I want to just clarify one more time. It's Pinelands
Yes.
Adventures.org, right?
That's it.
Pinelands, there's an S there, Adventures.org. Check them out. He is John Volpa from Pinelands Adventures. Please go to the website, get more information, go down to Hatzion Lake. I love it. I still love it. I loved it as a kid. I love it now. Check them out. This is Morning Coffee. We are moving right along. Stick with us. We've got so much more to come. But we got another break right now. So stick around on the Radio Vision Network.